¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. Cosmic Seeking, how's it going? Michael Haster, Derry Bennett, fuck DeSantis, Churu. Hopefully DeSantis and Trump argue muchly. Well, I hope that, I hope the best outcome would be a very bloody primary that hurts the GOP's chances in 2024. That is the hope. It's a long day, very late. Yeah, well, I'm not late. I'm just saying, I agree. It is a long day. It's more like DeSantis has a metaphorical glass jaw. Yep. Tina Turner has left us. Yes, Tina Turner has passed away. This is very, very recent. This is like literally breaking news. I don't know how she passed or what happened, but she was 83. It looks more like DeSantis has a metaphorical glass jaw. Hopefully. I mean, as like whatever damages the GOP, is a okay. Is a okay by me. All right, folks. Today is gonna be a bit of a short stream. Tomorrow I may not be able to stream. We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep. I'll make an announcement if I can't, as always. But yeah, we'll see what also happens with this DeSantis thing. Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be something that like everybody can access, like a Twitter thing? That's like in 40 minutes. Gotcha. Yeah, I wonder if we'll be able to see some like bits and pieces of it just to kind of get an idea. It's going to be hosted on Twitter. Remember, folks, Elon Musk wanted to say, Elon Musk wanted to have Twitter be less political. Elon Musk, remember, criticized Twitter for being too political or whatnot. And here he is hosting the launch of a presidential campaign. Okay. I see it on Elon's Twitter for 3 p.m. Wait, 3 p.m.? That's long past gone. I thought it was 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's in a Twitter space, which is audio. Gotcha, but can like... Oh, PST. Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Pacific probably. Okay, yes, this makes sense. Okay. Okay, can anybody just like hop in to that Twitter space? How does that even work? Anyone can hop in to listen. Gotcha. Assuming that it actually works, I wouldn't be at all surprised if there's a lot of technical problems. Ah, yes, we've seen how very, very well-run Twitter has been since Elon has taken over. So, I think it's like a Discord channel where only the Supreme Leader Elon and DeSantis can speak. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. The upside is that if this crashes, it doesn't rain poison down on the wetlands. But true. All right, let's get this started. Let's get this started with some clips and a video. Yeah. Whew. Speaking of DeSantis and Musk.
And I would classify myself as a moderate, and neither Republican nor Democrat. And in fact, I have voted overwhelmingly.
Yeah, so right there, that's like a massive lie. A moderate? Yeah, we clearly see the enlightened centrism at play here. And except what he means by moderate, or I should say, curiously enough, despite trying to project himself as some kind of moderate, he seems to be only helping one side. Interesting.
For Democrats historically, overwhelmingly. Like I'm not sure. I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear.
Right.
Now this election, I will. The Democratic Party is overly controlled by the unions and by the trial lawyers, particularly.
Yeah. So that's not a bad thing. If a Democrat, like, you're just making the point, you're just making the case that the Democratic Party has more inclination and more support of the working class. Like, whether or not the Democratic Party gives a shit about workers is one thing, but like, if your argument to dissuade me from a party is like, well, they're just overwhelmingly controlled by unions, well, sign me up. He describes himself as working class. Oh, yeah. The billionaire working class. Gotcha. I'm hoping for a Baba Booey emote.
The class action lawyers. And generally, if you'll see something that is not in the interest of the people.
What do you think union? Wait. What do you think unions are? What do you think unions do?
On the Democrat side, it's going to come because of the unions, which is just another form of monopoly, and the
oh yeah, dude. True. Unions, unions are just another form of monopoly. Yes. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's a billionaire, but yes, he works very hard. He works so hard tweeting and being on Twitter all day. It's all good. The first decade of the Sherman Antitrust Act was used almost exclusively against labor unions. Yeah, that's kind of a weird take to say that, like, unions are a form of monopoly. How do you think that unions were formed? Like, does Elon Musk think that, like, unions just, like, magically appear and they control everything? A monopoly is a very specific term for a company that has, whatever, like, a overwhelming market share that can't be challenged. A union has to be formed by the workers and elected by the workers. They have to vote on that, and they have to vote on decisions that happen. Like, for example, a union doesn't just unilaterally declare strike. The workers have to vote. But yeah, I didn't know that either. I didn't know that they used the Sherman Antitrust against labor unions. The 1890s were an awful time. Yeah, granted, true. What an absolute fucking clown. Unless DeSantis, Musk, or Trump get president, could the USA end the era of arrogant, pompous asses like Trump? Or, yeah, but I mean, like, you mean, like, far right far right demagogues, who coincidentally all of these people are far right narcissistic demagogues who are oligarchs. All of these people are exactly that. They're all the same. All these people are far right, narcissistic, billionaire oligarchs. All of them.
The trial lawyers, that's where actions will be happening from the Democrat side. They're not in the interest of the people.
Wait, class action lawyers are not... wait, what is a class action lawsuit? What does he think a class action lawsuit is? And furthermore, does he mean like class action because people are organizing legally against him at the time this was made? Is that why he's big mad?
And then, to be fair, on the Republican side,
right, but poor innocent corporations for poisoning them. Like, wait, exactly. Where does Musk think? Like, what do you think class action lawsuits come from?
there's
Like, damn, where is this Democratic Party that cares about unions, that cares about like holding corporations accountable? Where is this Democratic Party? I want to vote for them. So Musk thinks because he does not own Twitter, he's a social media genius. He thinks he's a genius just because he exists.
if you say like where there's something like not ideal happening, it's because of corporate evil and religious zealotry.
Yes. Usually when something bad is happening, not always, but those are two very, 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 very common culprits. Which coincidentally is what class action lawsuits are used for. Oh man.
That's generally where the bad things will be coming from on the Republican side, that are not representative of the people. So in the case of Biden, he is simply too much captured by the...
Yeah, dude, too much captured by... Like, damn, dude, where is this Biden? I'd vote for that Biden. I'd vote for that Biden. Where is he?
Unions, which was not the case with Obama.
Damn, way to give the game away. Way to give the game away. So like, because Obama was more of a corporate, more of a corporate Democrat who capitulated to corporations and capital, that makes him okay. But Biden, never mind if he really is or isn't, but the perception in his head or the picture he's trying to paint is like, oh yeah, he's way too captured by the working class, so that's a problem. Remember when he helped all the rail workers? Oh wait, yeah. Anyone left of Obama is a leftist, true.
In the case of Obama, you could have, he was sort of quite reasonable, and I think he took more of a view that, obviously you need to take the concerns of the unions into account, but there are bigger issues at stake.
There are bigger issues, yeah, like, dude, this guy's such a scumbag. This guy's such a fucking piece of shit. Like, so basically he's saying, like, when the Democrats kind of, like, pretend to care about the unions, but they never end up doing anything, that's probably good. We like it like that. The corporate oligarchs like it when, like, Democrats kind of, like, pretend to give a shit about, like, unions and then, like, actually not end up doing anything. Yeah, we like that. We like that form of the Democratic Party. Why is Musk bringing up Obama? Because he's saying that he in his mind, he's saying that Biden is too captured by the labor unions, which is bad, unlike Obama, which was the previous Democratic president before Trump got into office. He was more of a corporatist, right? He would acknowledge their concerns, but like, at the end of the day, he didn't really do much, so that's okay. That's why he's bringing up Obama. To basically say that the perception of Biden being more favorable to unions is a bad thing. Hey, Bipedal Meatbag, how's it going? Who will think of the poor billionaires? True. It's kind of the left me argument. Yep.
And unfortunately, Biden does not do that.
Yeah, there you have it. Now, will Musk vote for DeSantis? It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Musk will probably vote for the Republican regardless. Musk will vote for the Republicans, for the Republican candidate regardless, based on his rhetoric and language. People like Musk rarely vote. They have more political power in a 2-minute phone call than every vote of every. True. Actually, yeah, that's a very good point. It doesn't matter. The dude can just pick up a phone call, pick up the phone and like make a couple phone calls or whatever. Then that's it. Problem solved. That's very true. All right, let's talk about this. The old joke, everyone and their brother's a political scientist. Now Musk thinks so? Nah. No, yeah, I mean, he thinks he's smart and he thinks he knows everything about everything.
Earlier,
he's narcissistic, right?
Earlier this week, Special Prosecutor Jack Smith, it was revealed, had subpoenaed the Trump Organization as part of his investigation into the ongoing documents scandal. And that, of course, is Donald Trump taking classified documents, yada, yada. We know the rest of that. This is a massive move, right? Because on the surface, if we're looking into why did Donald Trump have these classified documents down at Mar-a-Lago and, of course, in a storeroom off-site, how does the Trump Organization play into this, right? It's an organization based out of New York City. Trump's got the documents down in South Florida. You know, the Trump Organization didn't take the documents.
Right. Right. Did you watch the announcement for DeSantis? No. Did the announcement come out, or is that going to be like revealed in the Twitter space? I wasn't really quite sure. Did it already come out? If so, if you have, is it on YouTube, or where can we watch it before we see if we can pop in the Twitter space? AI for President 2024. Hey, how's it going, Walter? True. Just send it to me via Whispers, or send it to me in direct message, religious. We'll see if we can watch that before the Twitter space interview.
So what on earth could Jack Smith be looking for at the Trump Organization related to classified documents? It doesn't make any sense until it all starts to make complete, perfect sense. What Smith is likely looking for is any evidence that would suggest that Donald Trump traded any classified intelligence in exchange for cash or business deals. That's why he wants those records from the Trump Organization.
Can you imagine if that ends up being the case? Can you imagine if that ends up being the case? Okay, so yeah, this is the this is the Twitter Space thing, right? Is there a way we can find like the announcement? Is it on YouTube or is it just? Hold on, folks. Ron DeSantis announcement? Yeah, I guess. This is 2 hours ago.
Regarding Ron DeSantis and his presidential bid, as we're learning now that he has officially filed paperwork to have that 2024 bid move forward. I want to put up a tweet right now from the Associated Press and give us a little bit more detail on what we're learning about this as the GOP
has entered the presidential race. Okay, so he just like filed the paperwork and went through. No more Trump 2024 if true. What if true? No, he could still run. He could still run. I don't think anything at this point, even if true. Wait, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. But we'll have to see. Because like if that's the case, you would have to then say, is that grounds for like treason? Is that grounds for treason? I don't know. I mean that would be massive. That would be massive. That would be the first president ever in our history to even be looked at for treason.
nominee there, potentially candidate Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, entered the 2024 presidential race, stepping into a crowded
Right, Eugene Debs did run for president from prison. And he still got like, what, over 1 million votes? Trump launching his campaign from prison, just like Gucci Mane drops his new music. True.
Test his national appeal and the GOP's willingness to move on from former President Donald Trump. Of course, we're expecting to hear some remarks from DeSantis tonight. He's expected to make that announcement at 6 p.m. Eastern on Twitter.
Okay, so yeah, then
as he has filed with the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, for president there. Some more details as he has entered. The 44-year-old Republican revealed his decision in a filing before an online conversation with Twitter CEO Elon Musk. It marks a new chapter in his extraordinary rise from little-known congressman to two-term governor to a leading figure in the nation's bitter fight over race, gender, abortion, and other divisive issues. Of course,
all right. Okay, we'll see if we can pop in. Now Trump has to find ways to end DeSantis. I mean, he's already pretty ahead of him. He's already pretty ahead. For the 14th Amendment, Trump should already be ineligible to run for office. His second impeachment was for inciting an insurrection. True. I mean, like in a rational scenario, he wouldn't be able to run. Yes.
Here's how that scenario likely could have played out. If Donald Trump had these documents, and we know that his little son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was...
Right, okay, yeah. Unfortunately, the simulacra is correct. Because the Senate didn't convict them, it doesn't really matter. So that's kind of like yeah. If the Senate would have convicted him, that would be a different story. They could bar him from running.
Still traveling around the globe, trying to work out these deals, getting money to come in, but that's Kushner's company. But there's no reason to think that Trump's own children couldn't have been doing that same thing for him, or Trump himself. He travels the globe, we know that. He has their phone numbers. It doesn't even have to be a travel thing. You could have talked to them. You could have said, listen, I got some info here. You want it? Yeah, we want it. Well, I know you do. But you know what I want is I want to build a Trump Tower over in your country, but I can't get the permits for it. I can't get all this clearance. I need some incentives to do that. So you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So that is a scenario under which Donald Trump could have traded classified information for special privileges for his business. Now, I'm not saying this happened again. All we know is that a subpoena was issued. I'm laying out.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. I see what he's doing. So he's hypothesizing that because it makes no sense to like subpoena records that seemingly have nothing to do with that other case, it is quite possible that this prosecutor is looking at potentially Trump using this information to enrich himself or find himself in a position to put businesses where otherwise he wouldn't be allowed to. Why would anyone want to scratch Trump's back is beyond me. True. Welcome, Conscious Canuck.
Potential possibilities for what could have happened. I'm not saying any of it did. These are just things that could have taken place. So please don't say that I'm accusing him of any of this. I'm laying out what the special prosecutor could be thinking. The real question is, how would Smith know about this? Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because here's the thing. As you recall, Jack Smith recently has been talking to a lot of employees at Mar-a-Lago. We're talking about not people that are personally Donald Trump's aides and assistants. No. I'm talking about the housekeepers. He's talking to the wait staff at the restaurant at Mar-a-Lago. He is talking to every single individual person there that may have information about what Donald Trump did. These are people who are basically the fly on the wall type people. Donald Trump thinks he can say whatever to whoever while these people are standing around because they're insignificant to him. So if you have a waiter that may have overheard Donald Trump telling somebody, we just got this great deal, all I had to do was fax them a couple of these documents, it was wonderful, then that server could have gone and told Jack Smith that. And that may be why Jack Smith started to focus on these individual, lower totem pole type people. And here's what would happen. If anybody did overhear those kinds of conversations, or if they saw Donald Trump at the club meeting with a foreign dignitary, going behind closed doors, what Jack Smith would then be looking for in order to see if anything happened is he would look at the date which the individual said this meeting or conversation took place. So let's say, for example, Donald Trump meets with a Saudi emirate on June 1st. And that's what the employee told Jack Smith. Jack Smith would now look through the Trump Organization files to see if there was any kind of massive movement, in terms of investments coming into the company, investments going out of the company to that particular country following that meeting. So anytime after that date. That's what Smith is likely looking for.
And
to
Amir,
see if the Trump Organization financially benefited from Donald Trump, maybe promising documents. And again, we don't even know that he did promise documents. And we don't even know that these scenarios I'm laying out are the ones that happened. Like, I could just be totally off base. And even if the things I'm saying did happen, getting the evidence that Donald Trump actually did share the classified information, we may not ever be able to get that evidence if it went to a foreign country and they're just like, nope, we didn't get it. So even if the things I said did happen, we may still not ever be able to actually prove that they happened. Jack Smith has his work cut out for him. And again, no matter what it is about, I can promise you one thing. Subpoenaing the Trump Organization as part of the document scandal is a much, much bigger deal.
right? Because it really does beg the question, right? Because why would they be subpoenaing the Trump Organization with regards to the investigation of the classified documents. Unless the prosecutor thought that there might be some kind of dubious financial dealings, which a career con man who has a life history of dubious financial dealings, I mean, it wouldn't exactly be surprising. Emir is a noble title in Arabic. That's what the United Arab Emirates is named for. Gotcha. Well, you learned something new. I didn't know that.
Than we all realize. Hey, everyone.
Yeah, I definitely think that the big point here is that it is definitely strange that the guy is subpoenaing the Trump organization, and that can only mean that maybe something much deeper than we originally thought might be going on with these classified documents. Who knows? Who knows? All right, switching gears really quickly. Chief Justice Roberts complained about judges being heckled at law schools, and said the court doesn't need Congress to patrol its ethics. Well, you being the Chief Justice, see, clearly you are unwilling to set down some ethics yourself in your court. So you can't exactly complain when Congress is basically like saying you gotta get this fixed. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming. The dealings and the corruption that has been unearthed with regards to several justices, but recently Clarence Thomas is like the big one. Clearly there's a problem here. And if you're unwilling to address it, I mean, shoot. Hold on, folks. All right. Here we go. Chief Justice Roberts said on Tuesday during a public address that the court doesn't need other branches of government to patrol its ethics. Well, I mean, like, there's got to be some type of checks and balances, right? Like, that's how government works. There's no, like, there is no unilateral decisions that can be taken by a branch of government that supposedly doesn't have some kind of checks in other branches, right? Like, the legislature can't just unilaterally create in theory, on paper. Theoretically, on paper, the legislative branch can't just create whatever bullshit fucking laws that they want and not expect the judiciary branch to come and check that, right? I mean, does he not know? He's the Chief Justice. Does he not know how government works? We'll hold ourselves accountable. Trust me, bro. That the court doesn't need other branches of government to patrol its ethics, but acknowledged that he was committed to making sure justices followed high standards of conduct. So you're gonna make an ethics, you're gonna actually put down ethics with accountability, rules and consequences. Roberts, who spoke Tuesday night at the American Law Institute's annual dinner, said Also said that the court is considering ways for justice to adhere to the highest standard of conduct, but didn't offer specifics on what changes might be in the works. It doesn't mean anything. So in other words, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, they're taking this very seriously and performing an investigation themselves. Quote, I want to assure people that I'm committed to making certain that we as a court adhere to the high... Like, what does that even mean? I don't know what you mean by highest standards of conduct. Like, what ethics rules are you putting in place, specifically? This is nothing. Like, literally that sentence means absolutely nothing. We're continuing to look at things that we can do. What things, bro? Are you gonna put down like a ethics, like a code of conduct that's enforceable and has consequences if broken? Because like all of this is words. It's nothing. It's empty. We're looking at. We're continuing to look at things that we can do to give practical effect to that commitment. I literally don't know what that means. And I'm confident that there are ways of doing that are consistent with our status as an independent branch of government under the Constitution's separation of powers. Okay, you are a separate branch of government. But you are not immune to the whole checks and balances. Like the whole point of the whole point of having the setup the way we do is so that there is no unilateral decision making by branches that you can just run off and do whatever they want without any other ability to check, right? Like a president can't just unilaterally make decisions. They have executive orders, but those can be checked by courts. Congress can't just unilaterally say the president can't do this, this, or this. They can make legislature, and that's checked by the courts. So who checks the courts? The only thing Congress can do is get their funding. I think that they can also set up rules, can't they? And they can also impeach them. Congress can also impeach them, which is a form of like, yes, exactly. They can impeach them. Yes. So that's a way of check of holding that checks and balances. The clown fiesta is live. All right, we're gonna tune in ever so often. Impeachment is really the only accountability for SCOTUS justice. Yeah, that's true. Could Congress hypothetically make legislation saying that the Supreme Court has to abide by certain ethics, or would that be get struck down? Hey, Pirate Ninja, what is the Clown Fiesta? The Clown Fiesta, the circus that is about to start, is Elon Musk hosting Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis's announcement, or I guess launch, for presidency. I think that would have to be a constitutional amendment. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, I'm wrong on that. Don't ignore me then. Just ignore me then. Boomers on Twitter. Yeah, we have it here. I'm gonna refresh it. Okay, so it's live. It's live. So I guess we'll just try to get through this, and then hop in and see what the heck is going on. We are continuing to look at okay, the comments come after public confidence in the Supreme Court has reached a historic low for obvious reasons, like the corruption, the fact that Supreme Court justices outright lied about the idea of overturning Roe versus Wade. They lied to members of Congress and the Senate regarding that Roe versus Wade decision. Yeah, we have scandal after scandal of corruption. I mean, no shit. Yeah, there's a reason why public confidence in the Supreme Court has reached a historic low. And after multiple reports calling into question the ethics of the justices, Justice Clarence Thomas took lavish secret vacations on private jets and super yachts paid for by GOP mega donor and apparently a Nazi admirer, Harlan Crow, for years without disclosing them. It was later then revealed that Thomas sold his childhood home to Crow, again failing to disclose the sale. Insiders Matthias Schwartz also reported that the Chief Justice Roberts' wife made millions as a legal recruiter for law firms, according to a whistleblower who worked for her. However, the court has refrained from publicly adopting a code of ethics, saying that instead they would adhere to a general code of conduct in a letter to Congress, which has tried to rein in its power in recent months. I mean, like, that's silly. That's silly. Like, to say that, like, you can't be bothered you can't be bothered adopting a code of ethics. Instead, you will pinky swear. You will pinky swear that you have some kind of general code of conduct, which whatever the fuck that means, to get Congress off your back. The letter, which was signed by all 9 justices, raised concerns about the threats to the safety of justices, a point repeated by Roberts during his Tuesday speech. Judges heckled and shouted down at law school protesters outside the home of justices to the extent that martial protection is needed 24/7. I mean, bro, like, you put yourself and your court in that position. Okay? The hardest decision I had to make was whether to erect fences and barricades around the Supreme Court. He added in reference to barriers erected after a draft opinion on the court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade was leaked to the press. Experts previously told Insider that recent controversies would lead to internal policing and behavior changes within the Supreme Court. A spokesperson for the Supreme Court did not immediately respond to Insider's request for comment. Yeah, whatever. What is this?
I actually switched from Chrome to Opera GX a while ago just because I was so tired of Chrome being
whoa! Why is this guy on my screen?
Tonight,
Jesus. All right. We'll put this on what is it? On hold. Apparently Trump lost his shit about DeSantis announcing. Oh boy. Yeah, I got it queued up. Let's see what's going on. Laura Ingraham, Caitlyn Jenner, and Tommy Lauren among the 100K patiently waiting. Yeah. I see that. Hey, whoa. Preparing to launch. Lou Dobbs. Tommy Lauren. Rudy Giuliani. Oh, man. Echo Wrestle Dragon, how's it going? Share. How do I... They all paid for blue checks. Yep. Or Elon let them keep their checks. Because, like, Elon can unilaterally make that decision. So is it just not working? Or... It's going sad to hear about Tina Turner. She was great. Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. I think they're just taking a while to get it set up. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Can I mute this? Jeez.
Now it's quiet.
What the heck?
All right. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone, depending on wherever in the world you're joining us from. I'm broadcasting live from Twitter headquarters. It's David Sachs here. Elon is sitting next to me, and we want to welcome you to this historic Twitter Spaces event, and more broadly, a first in the history of social media. Tonight, I'm pleased to introduce two individuals who've done more to loosen the
Oh, it's going great. Oh, it's going great, folks. They can't even get this shit properly set up. Too many fools make too many much money off PayPal. True. This is so bad. How will their first live go? This is your future president. Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Like, as we strive to make Twitter...
All right, sorry about that. We've got so many people here that I think we are kind of melting the servers. Which is a good sign.
you're...
All right, I'd like to just introduce the folks in the room here. So it's safe to say we wouldn't be making history without the man sitting next to me, Elon Musk. His decision to purchase this platform last year to restore to its original mission as a beacon for free speech, and even to expose Twitter's past complicity with a government censorship regime might have surprised many, but not those of us who've known and worked with Elon for nearly a quarter century. His commitment to freedom and his willingness to put his money where his mouth is, upset the narrative control imposed on us by our government, elite institutions, and corporate media. Go ahead and send a heart up if you want to say thank you, Elon.
Where's the middle finger?
Can I send my attention and support when I saw how
Can I send a middle finger?
Pandemic, and refused to believe what we now know to be the many falsehoods that government experts and their media mouthpieces were feeding us. He kept Florida's schools open and its economy thriving, while my state of California chose 2 years of learning loss and lockdowns that we have yet to fully.
Who is echoing? I don't know. No one thought to add a few server decks. That sounds about right. Yep. So they put him as a listener. Yeah, this is going about as good as we thought it would go. Oh, this is going great, folks. They left. They had to probably refresh or restart. Yeah, they kicked DeSantis and the other guy off. So I think that they're gonna have to like rejoin this. The audio quality is so good they should have done it on AM radio. Yeah, this is only audio only. How's it going, Sharpie Diesel? Yeah, the super stable Twitter. Like Elon's doing fantastic decisions. As you can see, Twitter is running great, folks. To be fair, there's only like 10 engineers at Twitter right now. True. And whose decision was that? This is going exactly as I expected. I joined Twitter Spaces before and they're always scuffed. Yeah.
Let's see. So, are we on? Yeah, I think so.
Just to simplify this.
Oh my God.
I think we're just going to use your. I think we're just going to use your.
Oh Lord. All right. How do I control whether or not I can mute this?
Well, there's 382,000 people in the room.
All right, great. So let's see. So they just keep crashing, huh?
Yes, I have Elon Musk
Yeah, I
blocked.
think we've got just a massive number of people online, so it's servers are straining somewhat.
Why? Why? Why are the servers straining, Elon? Yeah, tie in a yeah, patch me in. Patch me in, Musk. I got this. Okay? What a fucking embarrassment. Jesus Christ. All right. I mean, I guess if they get their stuff together, we'll try to join again. No, I don't want to stop. I want this. Can I mute this? Why is this such a garbage website?
There's some delay.
Plug
We're
in your
just
Cybertruck for
reallocating
tech
more
support,
server
Drew.
capability to be able to handle the load here. It's really going crazy. So yeah, obviously very excited to have Governor DeSantis make this.
Oh man. Oh, it's going great. Phenomenal, folks. Phenomenal. All right. Well, we're gonna have to like take a second, because clearly Elon Musk's decision, and how Twitter is running, is less than ideal. So they're still gathering their shit together, I guess. This can't help DeSantis, can it? I mean, it's a large platform. The idea is it's gonna help him supposedly. I knew this would happen. Yeah, I think we could safely call that this. Wow, chat, check this out. Wait, is it gone? Oh no, it's back. Never mind. Never mind. Using this to launch a presidential campaign is the worst decision. True. But hey, as long as you get to fight the woke mob, I guess whatever it takes, right? Oh my god. Look at this. It's gone. Well, yeah, that went about as good as it could have. Oh man, can you imagine if they have like so much technical difficulties that because of Elon's decisions that they can't even make this launch happen? Can you imagine that they end up having to cancel this? It helped DeSantis because his base is the do I click OK button crowd? Oh man. Can you imagine if they have to cancel this because of technical difficulties? Where's the any key? Oh my god, they literally are it's done, folks. It's dead. It's dead for now. Oh man, that's hilarious. I love it. That's hilarious. Love that emote. I think I'm still in it, but no sound, so I don't know. Oh, you're still in the you're still in the space? I can't even get to it again. Oh, it's back. They need Clippy. That's right. What's the guy? This guy. Oh, actually, hold on. Save image. Can I open this in a open image in a new tab? Yeah. Yeah, we need this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, I tried to join it and details not available. Boo! Wow. I mean, I guess we can just try to like refresh it. Oh, there it is. What a shit hap. True. Okay, we're back. They have 500,000 people in there. It's going to be an F. Yeah, probably.
All right, great. Looks like we're ready to go here. What's
I mean, I almost want to advocate for like people, the power of Clippy will save us. True. I will almost advocate for like as many people join the space as possible. Because we all should join the space. All this when he could have just had sent a tweet. Yep.
all right?
They're doing this on a Metro PCS phone.
Governor DeSantis for this historic. We're just trying to get it going because there's so many people.
I think more people should join.
It's unfortunate. I'd like to never seen this before. Governor DeSantis for this historic. We're just trying to get it going because there's so many people.
Oh man, we're now almost 20 minutes into this thing, and join and refresh constantly. Yes. It was a CIA woke cyber attack. True. Will Elon host a left-wing politician? No shot. No shot. Not at all. He doesn't give a shit about like free speech or anything like that. Like to anybody who thought like this guy gave a shit about free speech or the exchange of ideas or whatever, like this guy doesn't give a shit about that. As he clearly is only of one side. Yeah, Elon Musk never gave a shit about free speech. He doesn't care. He's not interested in that. He was never interested in that. Preparing to launch? Ended. Is this thing on? Just keep leaving and joining the room? Yeah, but it crashed. This thing crashed. Looks like DeSantis can't run. Oh well. Oh man. I guess we're gonna try refreshing it later and see if it works. It's it's because I blocked Elon. True. All right. Well. Right. Who fixes the code if you fire all the engineers at Twitter? Right. Who knows if this thing is even gonna get is gonna even be able to be launched? I guess in the meantime we'll just we'll just check out this video in the meantime. Oh, true. AI. There you go. Maybe if maybe if they get should have done this on MySpace. Hold on. I have just the sound effect for that. The written code won't work, but it almost looked like it could. Oh. This ant doesn't strike me as someone with a lot of patience. He must be seething. Good. Alright. Let's see if we can get this going. They're trying on David Sack's Twitter page right now, so they're going to the other page. How do I go back to this search? David. Alright, let's see. Dude, what a garbage website. Oh my god. Hello? Join this space, okay.
How a candidate really is, you know, and where it's not just canned speeches and teleprompters. It's in fact, you can tell by the, you know, some of the mistakes that it's real.
Yeah.
So
Elon paid $44 billion for this.
You know,
Yep.
With that, I guess I should turn it over to.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So, yeah, Governor, there's been a lot of speculation over the last couple of months about your plans. I understand that you may have an announcement to make. We've got, I think, a record audience assembled here.
Can you imagine if his like announcement's like, man, I'm not going to run anymore?
Room that's probably ever been assembled online. What would you like to tell them?
Well, I am running for president of the United States to lead our great American comeback. Look, we know our country's going in the wrong direction. We see it with our eyes and we feel it in our bones. Our southern borders collapse. Drugs are pouring into the country. Our cities are being hollowed out by spiking crime.
What?
The federal government's making it harder for the average family to make ends meet and to attain and maintain.
I think you're talking about capitalism.
And our president, well, he lacks vigor, flounders in the face of our nation's challenges, and he takes his cues from the woke mob. I don't think it has to be this way. American decline is not
Oh
inevitable. It
no,
is a
we're
choice,
getting
and we
we're
should
getting
choose a
into
new
like a
direction,
little bit of
a
a.
path that will lead to American revitalization.
Oh
We
man,
must
oh
restore
man, the death of the
sanity to our
nation.
nation.
Yeah.
Means
Okay. All right.
embracing
All right. So, needless to say, yeah, we're getting into like fascistic kind of rhetoric, with the like decay of the American nation, or another way of saying it, when Hitler used to talk about like the decay of the German nation. Yeah, sounds familiar. It's because it is. We'll tune in about a second. Remember, folks. Remember, I said that when we yesterday when we were streaming that if I walked into that room, we're probably going to be talking about like the anti-woke thing because that's all he has. That's all he has as a as a platform. Bro's reading his pamphlet. I'm trying to get back into this thing because like I can't mute it. Hello? God, what a garbage site. All right. Well, we'll try it. We'll try to like get back in the room if we can. Oh, the irony. This guy has like a free speech thing. You should be able to mute the site tab through the browser. Gotcha. Let's say if I just want to do mute site. Okay. So if I wanted to, I could just do it that way. All right, cool. Thank you. But unfortunately, this garbage fucking website won't let me get back in. All right, so I guess we'll just do this in the meantime.
So, tonight, Ron DeSantis will announce his candidacy. He has the audacity to challenge Donald
UPS stopped
Trump's
delivering a
path
package, and he's
to the 2024
and he's playing
Republican
Tina
nomination.
Turner. Wow.
Donald Trump wasting no time.
Damn.
And starting to post, even engaging caps lock to Truth Social.
Truth Social.
Trump posting as news broke of Ron DeSantis's impending candidacy. Quote, "Look, Rob DeSanctimonious came to me asking for help. He was
Ron
losing badly by
DeSanctimonious.
31 points to popular agriculture commissioner Adam Putnam. He was getting ready to drop out of the race, ran a terrible campaign. Ron told me he had one last chance, my support and endorsement, which Putnam and everyone else wanted also.
Oh.
I gave it to Ron and the race was over. In one day, he went from losing badly to winning by a lot. It actually took 4 months, but okay, who cares about the details? With 3 large Trump rallies,
Disloyal.
he won the general election in an upset. Disloyal. This is how Trump sees everything, not just politics. And many Republicans see it this way, although maybe not to the degree that Trump does. I did something for you. And now you should essentially have a loyalty that is almost an indentured servitude to me for the rest of your political career. You should never, ever, ever run against me because I helped you. And that is the sort of moral foundation, to the extent that it is one, for Donald Trump. Trump continuing on Troth and then engaging caps lock here. Quote, Ron DeSantis can't win the general election.
Hey, Hambless. Rip Tina Turner indeed. How's it going?
Get the nomination because he voted to obliterate Social Security, even wanting to raise the minimum age to 70.
And wait a minute. Hey, here's a question. I have a question. Which party is currently holding the entire economy hostage, trying to leverage Social Security and Medicare? Tell me, 'cause which party is currently holding hostage Social Security and Medicare. At the expense of the economy. Your party, Trump.
Or more, voted to badly wound Medicare.
True. The communist, Marxist, liberal, socialist Democrats. True.
And fought hard and voted for a 23% tax on everything, sales tax. He was and is a disciple of horrible Rhino, Paul Ryan, and others too many to mention. Also, he desperately needs a personality transplant. That's true. And to the best of my knowledge, they are not medically available yet. A disloyal person. Trump then continuing in all capital letters.
Jeez. The Social Security, Medicare are funded by workers. They don't affect the debt. True. They don't, but they're being used as leverage in this political football fight. They're being used as leverage. Essentially, if they default, then payments could become compromised. But also, they want it so that these programs get cut in exchange for raising the debt ceiling. It's pretty disgusting on the Republican part. Hey, Upset Walrus, how's it going?
I built the greatest economy in the history of the world.
Jesus. I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. My goodness.
No inflation. Energy independence.
Yeah, dude, true. Under Trump, there was 0% inflation.
Dominance, the strongest border ever, record best employment numbers, biggest tax and regulation cuts, rebuilt our military, no wars with Russia, Ukraine, or China.
What?
China, Taiwan, or anywhere. And the U.S. was respected all over the world. What else can I say? Almost everything there is a lie. And then one more truth.
Yeah, like this is like the repeated give scalloping of bullshit that like has been debunked time and time again. It's just outright false. I heard a rumor that 45 might get indicted on Friday for espionage. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I keep hearing like rumors about that. Who knows? Bro, cherry pick so hard it should be illegal.
All caps, short and sweet. Election interference. So if Trump is this triggered...
What? Election interference is when somebody decides to run against him? Oh, so it all makes sense because Joe Biden ran against him in 2020. That is election interference. Gotcha.
By the news that DeSantis will be announcing his candidacy tonight. Just you wait for what Trump is going to do after tonight's announcement. This is going to be one of the ugliest Republican primaries that I've ever covered, certainly.
COVID,
but
the truth was censored repeatedly.
There's a lot of talk about this debt ceiling thing on Big Dummy when it comes to economic politics. Could you give me a summary for dummies for what the debt ceiling is and why it's a big deal?
On this Twitter platform. So
Hold on.
I think what was done with Twitter.
Shut up. Anyways, so the TLDR, with the debt ceiling fight is that the debt ceiling is basically the limit that the government has to borrow. If it reaches that limit, it can't borrow anymore and it's running out of cash. If it can't do that, it's going to default on its obligations. And if that happens, there's a lot of domino effects that would incur. Employees, government employees won't get paid. Services could be delayed. Social Security payments are compromised in the sense that it would take longer, if not at all. It would be put on pause. Things like that. It's pretty bad. On top of that, the national standing of the United States when it comes to credit will lower, which means I think the interest rates of how we borrow money gets all fudged up. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. The borrowing cost for USA would increase for the US, yeah, leading to a deep recession. Yes. Yes. Yes, another way of putting it is it's like our credit card limit that we're about to reach and we have no money. Essentially. I mean, Trump's strongest argument would be that would probably be that he was politically targeted with his indictment, which is true. No, well, no. I don't think he was politically targeted with the indictment. I think that's a misconception. I don't think he was politically targeted. Like, if you do a crime, you do a crime. If you do a crime, you do a crime. Like, I don't understand. Like, if the law was applied unrestricted, everyone would get indictment, but everyone doesn't commit the kind of fraud that he does. And to make a point, Andrew Gillum, who was the Democratic candidate for Florida, Andrew Gillum, who is a Democratic candidate for Florida, got indicted for the same thing. His trial is coming up. Like, I don't understand why, like, people have that perception that it's like, oh, it's only him. No, if you commit crimes, it's gonna come back on you. Sorry. It's not political. It's not because he's Trump. It's because he's doing sketchy shit. Biden just needs to send a letter to Congress like the banks do when they raise your limit. Can you imagine? Great news. We just increased your credit limit. There you go. It's a perception because everyone in the group has committed crimes, but the law only targets people who get in the way. Trump wasn't getting in the way of anything. I don't understand. Like, Andrew Gillum was charged. Andrew Gillum was charged for the same thing. That's true. It is rare for legal action to be taken against, like, people in powerful positions. That's true. But it doesn't mean it's politically targeted.
And oh, by the way, the head of the NAACP lives in Florida, and a lot of their board members have put out on social media during my governorship Florida vacations where they seem to be having an awful good time.
That's great. Well, I mean, Florida's a great state, and I think everyone, the people realize that. Some of the things that are being said are just truly absurd. I mean, I saw some headline from The Atlantic basically claiming that anyone who listens to this Spaces on Twitter is basically a Nazi. That
was the Atlantic, and then Vanity Fair said that that you were hosting or interviewing because David Duke wasn't available.
Oh yes.
Although I'm not totally sure who they were saying was David Duke. I don't know if it was you or Governor DeSantis. It's sort of a little bit unclear, but
I think this is a function of the legacy media, these corporate journals. They're in their little bubble. And to draw allusions to stuff like that, I mean, how crazy do you have to be? But in their little bubble, it sounds like they're making some type of profound point. And so part of, I think, what Twitter is standing for is people should be exposed to different viewpoints. And I think the elites in our society have tried to cluster themselves.
Oh, no.
Are never challenged. And that's not a good way, I think, to live. It's also not a good way to be a critical thinker, because no one's ever going to question obviously wrong assumptions, because
Anyways, so that being said, is Elon Musk going to have like a Democratic candidate on Twitter Spaces to like hundreds of thousands of people? No. This is bullshit. They are, yes, exactly. They are the elites. All these people He's literally talking to a massive, uberly wealthy oligarch who's what, hundreds of billions or whatever. He's very, very wealthy. If you had to choose between Trump and DeSantis for president, who would you pick? Who would you actually perform better in office? None. None. But if I had to choose, it'd be basically who would do the less damage. And I think DeSantis is more dangerous. I truly think DeSantis is more dangerous. So I think Trump would be preferable because DeSantis is more dangerous than he is. So they can impeach him and put him in jail as well. Yeah, I don't know. If there's only those two choices, then yeah, you choose the one that would do less damage. Because like DeSantis is he's incredibly politically effective in the sense that he is actually putting legislation down that is incredibly cruel and evil. Like, that guy is an evil motherfucker, and he knows how to push the levers of power to get it done. I'm more afraid of DeSantis than I would be of Trump in that hypothetical.
With what the mainstream media was doing. So basically, big tech platforms were undermining their main reason for existing, which is giving people a choice. And actually, there's somebody who I think knows more about that than any of us, which is Dr. Jay Bhattacharya.
Shut up. No, the purpose of platforms like Facebook and, Twitter, is to make money. Is to make money. I need to look up more about DeSantis. I thought he was a diet Trump. He kind of is, but like in terms of like legislation, he's much more dangerous. He's much more dangerous. DeSantis was disinhibited by watching torture. He's a true sadist. Oh yeah, the whole Guantanamo Bay thing.
Didn't see the inside of a classroom, whereas Florida kids were in school, and you can see it in the results, and the learning loss numbers are so much better in Florida. I'm really curious, Governor. As you're running,
as someone who was a product of the Florida education system, no, no. Florida consistently ranks at the very bottom of education. Florida consistently ranks at the bottom of education. Yeah, Florida consistently makes it at the bottom of the list, okay? So I don't know if we want to go down that route.
And I think all of those agencies need to be cleaned out. What I saw just dealing with them,
red flag.
I saw a interest in the narrative and in politics over evidence-based reasoning and evidence-based medicine. And so I don't have confidence that those agencies are up to the task. And I think you need major
so think about this guy being president
with respect to public health in this country.
Can I follow up with that? I mean, I think the other thing that I saw during the pandemic, Governor, and you was subject to it just as much as I was when we were talking about COVID. YouTube censored a video of us speaking.
Shit, Chris Rufo is put on as a speaker. This guy's also a humongous piece of shit. Fuck this guy. I really want to know what America these people lived, where they were like enforced lockdowns. It's fantasy land. It happened in their head. It happened in their head. Like even like in Florida, even in Florida, in the most blue areas where I used to live, we had like a shelter in place order for like a couple of weeks, and then like that was it. That's it. That's all that happened. DeSantis will dismantle and outsource everything. Yep. The slimy stuff, billionaires and social conservatives cheering on their demagogue. Yep. I think in California they were super serious, but everywhere else it was a joke. Yeah, I mean, like even in California, I mean, even in California, like yeah, they had like more like health measures. They had more health safety measures, but I mean, here in Maryland, a very blue state, non-essential businesses were closed for a little while, but the business owners decided whether they were essential or not. Yeah, sounds about right.
We had already had enough experience in Florida where you had some schools that had done it before the state banned the mandates. You had some schools that had done it, some schools didn't, and the results were no different. And yet his video was taken down by Google, YouTube. So it was a huge, huge problem. And yes, I think the federal government, FBI, DHS, any of the health agencies, it's unconstitutional for them to be delegating speech restriction to a private company. You can't do indirectly what the Constitution would clearly forbid you to do directly.
Let me pull in. We have Congressman Thomas Massie. If you're there, go ahead and unmute yourself. I mean, what we're talking about here is, I think, really unconstitutional actions by federal agencies. Congressman Massie, I know that you've been involved in this problem of government agencies being weaponized and used against the American people in an inappropriate way. Do you have a comment on this? And do you have a question for Governor DeSantis?
Well, first of all, let me say a big thank you to Elon Musk for buying Twitter and exposing all of this.
Jesus.
On our weaponization
I love how like every single one of these clowns
hadn't done this.
Hold on.
Almost as a public service to the First Amendment.
Oh, shoot.
It's a disturbing trend. Government, as the governor said, the government is colluding with big corporations. We found out this week from an FBI whistleblower that Bank of America voluntarily gave names of and information on anybody who bought a hot dog in Washington, D.C. from January 5th to January 7th, and then overlaid that with gun purchases that they had on record anywhere in the country for any period of time. And just, they say they voluntarily gave that to the FBI. So that's disturbing to me. By the way, I've never met Elon Musk, but I'm one of your biggest fans.
Okay. So I love how like these guys always start by like bowing down to Elon Musk. We took a lot of road trips during lockdowns. We couldn't really stop, but it got us out of the house. FBI does need to be held more accountable. At any hearing with the FBI, all they say is, I don't know, and I couldn't tell you. Yeah, but this is not what they mean by like accountability in terms of like transparency. That's not what they mean. That's not what they're talking about. Politicians not pandering to Elon, difficult. What is it? Challenge? Difficult. Impossible challenge.
Congress is so feckless at reining in these government agencies, and what do you think we need to do? And if you were president, what would you urge Congress, or what bills would you like to see and sign to rein in this, sort of overreach of government bureaucracy?
Well, first, I think there's a lot that the executive branch can do, and all I will say when it comes to these agencies, we'll go into this a little bit more as the campaign goes on. But buckle up when I get in there, because the status quo is not acceptable, and we are going to make sure that we reconstitutionalize this government. And these agencies are totally out of control. There's no accountability, and we are going to bring that in a very big way. Now, part of the reason it's gotten so bad, power's been consolidated and effectively a fourth branch of government because Congress hasn't used its two main powers that it has under the Constitution. First, the power of the purse. If an agency is engaging in conduct that is outside the realm of what is legal, or you think it's not good for the public interest, then you can remove the funding for those operations. There's nothing that they're not entitled to get the same level of funding every year, and yet Congress runs the government on autopilot, either continuing resolutions or massive omnibus spending bills. So these agencies are all bulletproof.
Jesus.
They know that they're going to end something similar or more every single year. And it creates an incentive for them to abuse their power. The other thing you can do is actually legislate, so you're not delegating to the bureaucracy key issues regarding how to enforce federal law. You should define what you want. All they should be doing is implementing. Instead, Congress will basically give an invitation for the bureaucracy to make really important substantive decisions. And so Congress may never vote on something, and the bureaucracy will cite a law from 20 years ago and do things that are going to transform our society or our country. That is not the way the founding fathers drew up the Constitution.
So would you sign the Reins Act? We passed it out of judiciary today.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That would, I think, be a great check for that. I also think that we're going to have a good chance to see some of this Chevron deference really curtailed or maybe even eliminated based on the U.S. Supreme Court's upcoming jurisprudence. And I think that's another reason why the bureaucracy has become so powerful, because courts have basically been told they can pretty much do what they want, and courts are supposed to just defer. I don't think that that's actually correct. I think the courts, they have to make a judgment about what does the law actually say, and you can't just defer to quote unquote experts in the bureaucracy.
Thank you.
All right, shifting gears, Governor, I want to ask you another topic that's been in the news a lot is Disney. They blamed you for canceling plans for $1 billion investment in Florida, said they were canceling 2,000 jobs. I saw other reports that suggested Disney was going to make the cuts anyway, and due to a larger, budget cutting initiative. Regardless of why they did it, why do you feel your fight with Disney remains important? Considering you already beat them on the parental rights bill that they opposed, and what would you say to some of your opponents in this race who?
All right, yeah, this is gonna be like all.
So first of all, Florida State.
All culture war bullshit, which is exactly what I would say. Let me drop a theory on you if you want something to discuss. I mean, you're free to do so. Abbott is the real dream. He's been extremely effective at expanding government power in Texas. True. Gotta admit, DeSantis is good at fighting woke. I was awake when he started. True. All right, let's finish this.
Maybe for an even longer period than that. I would expect videos. I would expect attacks, interviews, furious interviews, hopefully with significant audio trouble. That's always the best. But we will be following all of it. And I hope you'll join me tonight shortly before 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We will be covering the DeSantis announcement with Elon Musk. Trump will probably attack Elon Musk tonight as well. It's going to be wild. And again,
oh man, that would be so freaking hilarious if Trump turns on Elon Musk. Oh man.
Political objective for me is for the ugliness of the forthcoming Republican primary to be as damaging as possible to whoever eventually becomes the Republican nominee.
True.
Likely Trump, but maybe not. Also, Monday Memorial Day. This is it, guys. We're going to do it. Monday Memorial Day, we are launching a one-day membership special. As many of you know, membership is...
Trump is old news. We don't want to play with him anymore. I don't know about that. He's pretty popular in the base, in the Republican base. All right.
Showing themselves to be corporatists, because these were all corporate goodies. This is not the way you would run a competitive economy, and the arrangement had really outlived its usefulness, but it persisted because Disney was so politically powerful. I think the company's ethos have changed in a way that
don't give a shit. All right, real talk. How much? No memes. How much of a chance does Biden have? Okay, so as it stands right now, it's a very close race. As it stands right now, the race is a very close race. Should it be a Biden versus Trump rematch? It's going to be a very close race. Recently, polls have been pointing that Trump has a slight edge at this time. Over 50%, but not by a lot. No, this is going to be a very close race. This is going to be a very close race.
For this district, the firefighters came to the board and they said, hey, we weren't getting survivor benefits for some of these widows. And so the state control board actually paid out some of the benefits that they were getting stiffed on. There were a lot of people in Central Florida who were really thankful that there was some accountability being brought to bear because, I mean, it's human nature. If there's no accountability over any individual or entity, of course, they're going to behave differently than if you have normal accountability. But the media was always very hostile to that. But just because I happen to be involved in bringing it back to reality and making sure that they were under the same laws, well, then all of a sudden they're running to Disney's defense. I mean, are you kidding me? And oh, by the way, on this project, they had announced this many years ago. They had not done anything for it, but that is actually not in Reedy Creek. So that was in a different part of Orlando. And so none of the issues that are involved in their suit would have made a difference there. Obviously, as a publicly traded corporation, they have a fiduciary duty to do what's best for their shareholders. So I'm assuming if they were in better financial shape and they saw the project as lucrative, they would have gone forward with it. But I think clearly they've had some problems with their stock price and a lot of other issues. And I'd also just finally point out, nobody probably has made Disney more money than me because they were open during COVID and they were closed in California. And that went on for many, many months.
Musk is platforming DeSantis, so I guess he is a strong candidate. Well, I mean, yeah, he's the closest candidate that could kind of be considered a threat to Trump in the terms of what the Republican primary. But I don't know if he has what it takes to beat Trump. I think there's a chance when it comes down to someone setting a ballot drop box on fire in a swing state or another Brooks Brothers riot. Yep. Sad, but yes. I hate you, but it's time for you to use that capital to bring DeSantis down. I mean, I think that they're very self-interested. So they'll fight on their turf, on their home turf, but that's about it. All right. Let's get through some headlines. As I said, it seems like I was right. This is all about like the culture war and like the anti-woke bullshit. This thing was so low energy. Yeah, the whole thing, like for 20 minutes, was just trying to get it set up because Elon Musk is such a shitty fucking CEO. Anyways, we'll check back here. Florida school limits access to Amanda Gorman's inaugural poem after parental complaint. Yep. A Miami-Dade elementary school limited some access to Amanda Gorman's presidential inauguration poem, The Hill We Climb, after a parent complained that it contained indirect hate messages. Gorman, 25, who gained national prominence after she recited her poem at President Biden's 2021 inauguration, took to Twitter to denounce the school's actions. Quote, "I'm gutted," the poet wrote in a lengthy Twitter statement before saying that censored books are often authored by people who have struggled for generations to get on bookshelves, most of whom are queer and non-white. I wrote The Hill We Climb so that all young people could see themselves in a historical moment. Gorman wrote, ever since I've received countless letters and videos from children inspired by The Hill We Climb to write their own poems. Robbing children of the chance to find their voices in literature is a violation of the right to free thought and free speech. Yep, they don't care. So this is what this Karen found offensive. Sleeper agent Musk scuppering Ron's announcement live. Yep. This is what they complained about.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge...
Hey, Upset Walrus. This poem is mid, I could write a better one. That's interesting. I wonder if you actually could, then why aren't you the one that was presenting this poem, and why is she the one that was chosen? It's a good question, huh?
mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the wind-swept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
So apparently this was enough for a Karen to get giga triggered to get this off of bookshelves because, quote, it contained indirect hate messages. I do write poetry but don't have connections. You assume that she did? You assume that she did? What are you on about? Do you have proof of that? Because I don't even know who this person is. You don't read poems in front of the president unless you have connections. Don't be silly. So you're not going to provide any evidence as to where those connections came? You made such a strong statement. Or maybe there was a contest that she won. Because before that, she published like one book, was a scholar, and that's about it. She became famous because she wrote and delivered this poem. She's a good poet and a scholar. There you go. I'm not hating on her. I'm asking where you made the statement. Where you have the evidence to support that claim. In other words, maybe when you like say something, maybe take like 5 seconds to maybe see if what you're saying is true. Like have some like 5 seconds of critical thinking and say, the thing that I'm about to type, is it true? I don't think Religious Fruitcake is a troll. He sounds like he memes, but he's being serious. I don't know. He's been banned on a bunch of channels. Like I slightly remember seeing this username. That's why I have my eye on them. Anyways, I don't think he's a troll. My bad. I've got my eye on him. Quote, I wrote The Hill We Climb so that all young people could see themselves in a historical moment. Ever since, I've received countless letters and videos from children inspired by The Hill We Climb to write their own poems. Robbing children of the chance to find their voices in literature is a violation of their right to free thought and free speech. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, Representative Maxwell Frost tweeted in support of Gorman, quoting from The Hill We Climb, While democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. We will fight and we will prevail. According to documents released by Florida Freedom to Read Project and first reported by the Miami Herald, the book was restricted at Baum Graham Education Center in Miami Lakes after one parent complained in March that it is not educational and has indirect hate messages. The same parent complained about 4 other books, The ABCs of Black History, Red Flag, Cuban Kids and Countries and News, Cuba, and Love to Langston, citing indoctrination and CRT. The complaint also misidentified Oprah Winfrey as the author of The Hill We Climb. So like some fucking like, probably like racist fucking Karen decided to make a whole stink about this. And it got pulled off the shelves. Last week, Governor DeSantis, who is currently announcing his run for presidency, signed into law a slate of new educational laws, including a requirement for schools to pull challenge books within 5 days of a complaint, while officials determine if the material should be permanently banned. DeSantis is expected to announce his 2024 bid for president today. So when it comes to the book and poem, it was taken out of the elementary library and put in the middle section of the same school. In a tweet after the publication, the Miami-Dade School District stated that the book wasn't banned and remains available in the media center as part of middle grades collection. So they removed it from the ability from kids to see it. Is that what it is? That's what all the attacks on schools and books have been. Small group that is very loud and violent. Yep. Yeah, so that's pretty fucked up. That apparently one fucking racist Karen decided to make a big stink about it and now is using state power to essentially enact their will on people. The point being is that these people are using state power to attempt to curb what you can and cannot teach. That's my point. Does that not raise any red flags? That someone could use the power of the state to attempt to like filter what kids can and cannot read? Last week, Florida Governor DeSantis signed into law a new slate of education laws, including a requirement for schools to pull challenged book within 5 days of a complaint, while officials determine if the material should be permanently banned. DeSantis is expected to announce his bid on Wednesday. In a tweet in a publication, the district said that the book wasn't banned and remains available in the media center as part of middle grades collection. Anyways, like the fact that like, oh, it's just a nothing burger. I mean, like if the state has this power to filter because of one like racist piece of shit said it contained hate messages, and also tried to report books like the ABCs of African American history, of Black history, Cuban Kids, Countries in the News, Cuba, Love to Langston, citing quote indoctrination, because that's subjective. That's what she thinks is indoctrination. I mean that raises a lot of red flags. The fact that it can be restricted based on one person's complaint, and then that one person gets to unilaterally use the power of the state to do this. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. And we all saw the poem. There's nothing indirectly or directly racist. If you think those books are indoctrination, wait till you read the Bible. True. Let's just be grateful we don't have to interact or listen to angry Florida moms. Sheesh. Didn't school recently ban a book in elementary because it featured human anatomy, like a man and woman cut in half, so you can see the inside, and a graphic, not a real person. I don't know. These people, these conservatives, got all up in arms over like the statue of David. So like, I don't know. Sounds like a comeuppance for decades. All you need was just a few voices to allege that someone acted in a racist manner to result in a person losing their job. That's not what this is about. What are you talking about? Hey, can you focus? The point being is that obviously, one person unilaterally is using the power of the state to restrict media, to restrict books, to restrict poetry. That was a reply to your comment about taking it just one or a few voices to result in something. The state controls the schools. What are you talking about? Yes, I'm saying that one person can literally use that power of the state to then control what the rest of people can see. Do you not think that's fucked up? If you're going to listen, there's only one person that's going to be condescending, and it's going to be me. Her speech, you're bad at it? Fuck you. Her speech was so mild, and didn't preach any radical... Like, I love how you couldn't even fucking... I love how you couldn't even respond to the actual, point. Fucking piece of shit. Her speech was so mild, and didn't preach any radical ideas, and one racist Karen took it down using the state, which is a problem. Yeah, exactly. That's basically the TLDR of this. That's basically it. If you think that that's not alarming, then you're probably part of the problem, and you're okay with like this idea of like censorship of different media thoughts and ideas. It's that simple. If you can't see that this is a big red flag, then you're just complicit, and you actually like this idea. You like this idea that, oh, you know, it says the title of the book is ABCs of Black History. It's CRT. Get rid of it. Because, like, come on. You feel like this person's poem was indirect hate, and you're also complaining about the ABCs of Black history? I mean, it's very, very obvious. I used to work in a library director's office. Book challenges came all the time. There's a process in the public libraries. Taking books out of public libraries an attack on free speech. Not talking about school libraries, though. Anyways, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. It's not... It is the TLDRs. This is fucked up, and this is very authoritarian, and this should be ringing a lot of alarm bells. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? The things that are being taken out of schools are being taken out fast and clearly targeted for political reasons to stop people's ability to learn and be taught certain things, which should be alarming. Yes. No, it's problematic. It's problematic because you're leveraging the power of the state to impose this on everybody else. That's the problem. I don't like the Nazi comparisons, but this is Nazi 101. I mean, like, you know, you could say that you're tired of, like, Nazi comparisons or whatever, or, like, people can complain, like, oh, well, you know, all the left does is compare everything to Nazis, but, like, I don't know, man. You're doing shit that Nazis do, so it's gonna keep happening. You're gonna keep caring. If you don't like that everything gets compared to Nazis, then I don't know, maybe they shouldn't be doing Nazi shit. Right? Right? Like, I don't know. It's, you know, like, I can't, you know, I can't help it if these people are, like, doing fucking Nazi shit. If we don't teach the kids, they grow up to be morons. Morons are no fun anymore for anyone, so let's do our part and teach the kids. True. I don't like that people compare everything to Nazism because it makes the word lose power. You need to make actual comparisons. But if they're acting like Nazis, and then I say that they're like, if I call like what a lot of like the conservatives now are doing, like very like Nazi-like shit, like calling for like genocide, calling for the eradication of a certain minority group. I mean, like, no, I'm explicitly calling them Nazis for a reason. There's a reason for that. The Nazis support them. The Nazis are literally parading around in fucking swastika flags in support of people like Ron DeSantis. I mean, like, if you don't want to be called Nazi, then stop intertwining yourself with fucking Nazis. The Republican Party, on numerous occasions, has been intertwining themselves with fucking Nazis. Nick Fuentes was at dinner with Donald Trump, the former president. So if you don't want to be compared to Nazis, I don't know, man. Stop doing Nazi shit. It's that simple. Stop using rhetoric. Stop using rhetoric. Stop hanging out with Nazis. It's that simple. I did listen to the poem, and it is a good poem. However, I stand by the fact that I could write a better poem, though this is strictly ego-motivated and not political. Clearly. The next time when you become a scholar and a published poet, then maybe you could submit your application for the next time, next inauguration. Since you're so confident. Fascism should not be encouraged. Correct. By the way, till this day, Ron DeSantis has not denounced the Nazis parading in parading in support of him. I meant that I don't like people jumping to call everything Nazi shit because it devalues the word. I think people should use it towards actual examples like you do. Yeah, but that's the thing. So then why would that point need to be then why would that point need to be said if I'm not doing the thing? Do you see why like that causes confusion? Because if I'm not doing the thing, then what was the point of the comment, right? You would use that comment to call me out if I'm doing the thing, right? If I'm just like going around randomly calling everything I see fucking Nazism, fine. The point would be then to criticize that. But if I'm not doing that, then I've been published 3 times. And submit your application. Has the poem reading thing always been a thing? I don't know, actually. It's a good point. I actually don't know. Anyways. I think you missed my comment then. It wasn't directed at you. Okay. War Knight, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, let's see what this clown show is on about.
It's not ideally. You must get authorization from Congress. I don't think Congress would authorize it So if they unilaterally try to do this, we're trying to provide protection for people here in Florida. I know Biden did executive order. They're studying it. I can tell you, if I'm president, we are not doing a central bank digital currency. I think that would be a huge, huge imposition on people's financial.
Maya Angela read a poem at Bill Clinton's inauguration. Gotcha. They're still going. They're going to accidentally go woke talking about it so much. True.
This week, you can't do any more. The sky of how they would be able to manipulate this. So I see it as a massive transfer of power from individual consumers to a central authority, and I don't think that's good for a free society. So
I don't know much about monetary policy, so I can't comment on this. Me neither. I don't know. Like conservatives have been on this like weird tip. Basically they have this idea in their heads that there's going to be some type of like digital currency that's going to be CBDC, central bank digital currency, which effectively is kind of like a digital dollar, if you will. But like there's no indication that that's even underway, and I don't think that we would move in that direction because we already do a lot of monetary transactions digitally anyways. So why are we like doing double work? I don't understand. We already have like digital means of transactions.
Incredible, and we started with some technical issues because of the sheer scale of and unprecedented nature of what we were doing, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and I think this finished really strong. So
I think it's just really great for the people to hear directly from presidential candidates, and to have it in a conversational tone, which obviously results in it's going to be imperfect because it's not scripted, so but it's genuine, and I think that really gives the people an opportunity to understand who might be their president in a way that's real. So thank you very much for coming on and doing this.
Okay,
and the invitation's open to any other candidates who might want to do this.
Absolutely. It is important for people to...
So you're going to host Joe Biden? You're going to host Joe Biden? Yeah, doubt.
Just having a great national dialogue.
Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for just...
Bye-bye.
Cool.
That's it? Wow. Seems like most Cash's efforts is to not have cash on hand, which can be taken. So far, crypto seems like a tool for people to extract wealth from others. Yes, it's a scheme. It's a scheme. Hey, Hildebeest, rating with a party of 27. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We just finished the one of the most like lackluster presidential announcements. Wow, that was that was really, really bad. Folks, if you have not seen me before, I am A Difficult Truth. I do the news, I do the politics Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you so much, Hildebeest, if you guys haven't checked their channel out. Twitch.tv/Hilda_Beast. I will put that link there. Thank you guys so much. Was Biden just pushing Intel again? I want to take back all the mean things I said about Tim Scott's announcement the other day. Oh, man. Welcome, everybody. If you guys enjoy your stay, however short it may be, make sure you hit the follow button. It really does help us out. Welcome, Old Snake Twitch. Mouselander, how's it going? Pork Nickel, how's it going? Core 10K, how's it going? Welcome, everybody. Adric, welcome. Dory, welcome. AOC has been tweeting about it. That was uniquely awful way to launch a presidential campaign. True. Maybe we need an AOC or Bernie convo. Elon Musk doesn't give a shit. He's not going to host any of those people. It goes all right. Hope y'all are well. Yeah, we're hanging in there. I thought I was following you. Now you are. Thank you. Who knows? Twitch can be weird. Well, I appreciate the raid and welcome everybody. All right, folks. We got a few things to go through before we ride the wave. Personas make streamer mics. Interesting. Yes, they do. This is I forgot the name of it, but it's a USB mic. Does have the software. I'll tell you right now. Hold on. Revelator, the dynamic version, dynamic mic. And the Persona software controls everything. So I think it's a pretty sweet deal. Glad to see actual audio companies getting into it. I mean, like, I don't know if this is, like, designed... Well, I guess it has to be designed... I guess it was designed with, like, streamers in mind. But it's a pretty, like, cool little thing. Because, like, you can plug this into your phone. And you can save, like, the settings on the mic itself. So it goes with you. You can record your podcast on the go. Like, I could just get my phone and plug it in. And record like the podcast that if I had to. All these pre-programmed like buttons are programmable. Like there's one button. I can't really twist it around, but there's one button down there that you can switch around, like settings. Not presets. There you go, presets. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm like really exhausted. Presets that you can program, and you can just take it with you, unplug it, put it in your phone. You can use it if you're doing like a Discord call and you're not really at your PC setup. You can just bring your mic and bring your phone. That's it. Your phone is a camera, decent one. Any like smartphone nowadays is an okay camera. Just plug it in and you're good to go. Can't even tell the difference. And it looks like an SM7B. Yeah, it does. It does. This foam, this little foam it comes with a black foam, but I put in, I bought a blue foam was supposed to be for an SM7B, and it fits. It fits the case, the housing of the capsule, and it fits just like an SM7B. It's the exact same size. They're interchangeable is what I'm saying. This is a foamy, a little foamy for an SM7B. Just happens to work. Just happens to be the same size. I like it. All right, folks. I gotta get going for dinner. So let's get some of these stories. Let's get these stories knocked out. Officers described chaos fear on January 6 as judge wastes prison time for the Oath Keeper domestic terrorist. Police officers who defended the Capitol on the January 6 and public servants who fled the insurrection's attack told the judge on Wednesday that they are still haunted by what they endured. The judge prepares to hand down sentences in this landmark insurrection case. The U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta heard victim impact statements a day before. He's expected to deliver the first January 6th seditious conspiracy sentences to Oath Keeper, domestic terrorist, and an associate convicted of plotting to block the transfer of power from President Trump to President Biden. The prosecutors are seeking 25 years behind bars, which would be the longest sentence by far handed down among hundreds of Capitol insurrection cases. Ha! I like the emotes. Metropolitan Police Officer Christopher Owens crossed paths with the Oath Keeper members in the Senate hallway as the insurrectionists invaded the building, shouting insults and threw projectiles at police. Owens recalled his wife bursting into tears when she saw the blood and bruises on his arms and legs after the insurrection. We experienced physical trauma, emotional trauma, and mental trauma. The trauma we suffered that day was endless. Rhodes scribbled on notes on a yellow legal pad as he listened to the statements. Terry McCullough, who was chief of staff to then White House Speaker Pelosi, said insurrectionists were trying to hunt down the California Democrat as her staffers hid in a conference room for hours hearing chants and threats. The defendants violated our workplace, government, and our democracy. Democracy succeeded. Capitol Police Special Agent David Lazarus, who was assigned to Pelosi's security details, said some of his coworkers have quit because of what they experienced. Lives and careers have been ruined and will never return to normal. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn, who encountered Oath Keepers in the Rotunda, said insurrectionists turned the citadel of American democracy into a crime scene. Dunn said he is a shell of his former self and dreads coming to work every day. At least 476 insurrectionists have pleaded guilty in the role. That's it? While he still feels scarred by the January 6th insurrection, Dunn said he found a little relief in the jury's conviction of Rhodes and other domestic terrorists, adding that he is profoundly grateful that in this case a justice had been done. The judge also heard statements from Virginia Brown, who is a Senate chamber assistant and helped carry a box of electoral votes across the rotunda on January 6th. As the mob breached the Capitol, Brown kicked off her shoes so she could run faster. She recalled fearing for her life and praying that she wouldn't encounter any insurrectionists. So, this was the lady that grabbed the ballots and ran and peaced out. I constantly relive the memories of that day. Who was a college sophomore at the time. I cannot measure how many hours of sleep I've lost. Rhodes was convicted of seditious conspiracy in November alongside Florida chapter leader. After prosecutors spent weeks making the case that Rhodes and his domestic terrorist group had plotted an armed rebellion to keep Biden, a Democrat, out of the White House in favor of Trump, a Republican. Rhodes, who didn't go inside the Capitol, took the witness stand at trial and told jurors that there was never any plan to attack the Capitol, and his followers who went rogue, even though there was text messages and communications saying otherwise. But okay. Yeah, the Republican Party calls it a tourist visit. Yeah, that's right. Tourist visit. This domestic terrorist will also be sentenced on Thursday, followed by two other domestic terrorists who were acquitted of seditious conspiracy but convicted of other crimes. Another fourth domestic terrorist was convicted of sedition during the second trial in January, which will be sentenced next week. Prosecutors are seeking prison sentence ranging from 10 to 21 years for the domestic terrorist. The judge canceled the sentencing schedule for this week for one defendant as he weighs whether to overturn the jury's guilty verdict on obstruction and a documents tampering charge. Prosecutors are urging the judge to apply enhanced penalties for terrorism. Fair point, arguing that these domestic terrorists sought to influence the government through intimidation or coercion, which they did. Judges so far have rejected the Justice Department's request to apply the so-called terrorism enhancement in the January 6 cases it has sought in so far, but these domestic terrorist cases, unlike the others that have reached sentencing to date, more than 1,000 people have been charged. Just over 500 have been sentenced, with more than half receiving terms of imprisonment ranging from a week to 14 years. The remainder have received sentences such as probation or home detention. The sentences for these domestic terrorists may signal how much time the prosecutor will seek for the leader of another domestic terrorist group, the Proud Boys, who were convicted of seditious conspiracy in a separate trial. These defendants include the former chairman, who is perhaps the most high-profile person charged in the sprawling January 6th investigation. The Proud Boys are scheduled to be sentenced in August and September. Over 7 weeks of testimony, the jurors heard how Rhodes rallied his followers to fight to defend Trump and discussed the prospect of a, quote, bloody civil war, and warned that the Oath Keepers may have to rise up in insurrection. What the fuck do you think that means? I mean, that's as unambiguous as it gets. The MAGA mob, can you imagine the mob in the same building? Wait, what? That MAGA mob, can you imagine that mob in the same building? Okay, you're going to have to elaborate on that one. All right. To defeat Biden if Trump didn't act. On January 6th, Rhodes' followers shouldered the way through the crowd in a military-style stack formation before forcing their way into the Capitol. The Oath Keepers had stashed weapons at a Virginia hotel for a quick reaction force. Team prosecutors said they were ready to get weapons into the city quickly if needed. So, like, yeah, that's as explicit as it can be, right? You literally had premeditatedly stashed weapon caches. I mean, Rhodes' lawyers are urging the judge to sentence him to roughly 16 months behind bars, which he already served since his arrest in January of 2022. In court papers filed this month, Rhodes' attorney argued that all of Rhodes' writings and statements were protected political speech. Nah. Sorry. Like, calls to violence and organizing like a literal insurrection is not protected political speech. Fuck out of here with that shit. None of his speech incited or encouraged imminent violence or unlawful acts, nor were any likely to occur as a result of his speech. No. They just planned to put, caches of weapons designed to be used in a quick reaction force, as they called it. Yeah, dude. Nothing like that. Nothing like spending over $10,000 in weapons and ammunition. Yeah, okay, whatever, dude. All right, folks. Last one. All right, folks. I'm going to keep going over these stories. Time and time again, a mother was forced to give birth to a stillborn son joins lawsuit against Texas abortion ban. A Texas mother who was forced to give birth to her stillborn son in Texas has joined the lawsuit against the state with 7 other women who were denied abortions while facing severe pregnancy complications. Kirsten Hogan from the Dallas-Fort Worth area shared her personal experience of being denied reproductive health care in Texas while facing severe pregnancy complications with the Center of Reproductive Rights. I was made to feel less than human, because that's what Republicans think of you. Conservatives think that you are not human. You are nothing more than property. That's it. That's it. The January 6th insurrectionists went beyond speech in the U.S. Capitol. Yeah. None of what they were taught. Yeah, none of that was protected speech. You can't incite insurrection and plan insurrections between each other and then say that that's protected political speech. That's not how that works. I was made to feel less than human. Ms. Hogan said, Texas law caused me to be detained against my will for 5 days and treated like a criminal, all through the most traumatic and heartbreaking experience of my life. Ms. Hogan found out that she was pregnant in June of 2021 while living in Oklahoma with her boyfriend. According to her testimony, she was surprised by the news as she had a history of polycystic ovary syndrome and miscarriages, but she was excited. In other words, she was going to keep it. Shortly after finding out, Ms. Hogan said she was forced to leave her boyfriend because he became violent and insisted she get an abortion. She moved to Texas to seek a new life. Agnostic sister, welcome. This is why abortion is healthcare, period. Correct. She moved to Texas to seek a new life. In the first few months of pregnancy, Ms. Hogan went to the emergency room multiple times with cramping and bleeding. Doctors insisted that everything was okay, but at 19 weeks pregnant, in September of 2021, Ms. Hogan's water broke and she experienced cervical insufficiency. However, Ms. Hogan was unable to obtain an abortion due to Texas law, Senate Bill SB 8, which outlawed abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy in all cases unless the mother's life is at risk. SB 8 went into effect September 1st of 2021. Ms. Hogan was forced to stay in the hospital until she went into labor or her condition worsened to the point where the hospital staff could give her an abortion. Like, how fucked up is this? Think about it. And again, I've made several stories of this, and I continue to make several segments as I find them and as they keep happening. I'm going to keep talking about it. Because this is a direct result of Republicans being in power. Period. Full stop. This is a result of conservatism winning elections. This is a result of conservatism gaining power. A person should not have to carry any pregnancy for any reason against their will. Correct. The whole premise is that you get to choose what happens. If you want to have a child, nobody can tell you otherwise. If you do not want to have a child, nobody can tell you otherwise. And this is fucked up. This is beyond messed up that what Republicans are doing. And one of the reasons why I make the argument that Republicans are fundamentally incompatible with democracy. These people are just fucking cruel. And it all stems from this idea that they do not respect bodily autonomy. All of it. This entire premise is that they don't believe in bodily autonomy. And when you've got a movement that doesn't believe in that, all bets are off. Look, and it just kind of like umbrellas outwards, right? From this concept. Because bodily autonomy is like at the very core of freedom, right? It's at the very core of freedom, like, right? That's the very core of me as a human being. I should be allowed to make choices about my body. Of course, the line is drawn when you put other people at risk, because then you're violating their bodily autonomy. But no one is entitled to your body. And you have every right to make a choice for yourself. Her boyfriend wanted her to have an abortion. She said no and moved to Texas. Well, now she can't have one. Right, like, because in both scenarios, it's fucked up, because in both scenarios, her choice was taken away. Her autonomy was taken away. So, like, where I was going with this is because, like, this core concept of bodily autonomy kind of, like, encapsulates and explains what all of this is about, right? It's about control. It's about control at the very, very, very deepest level, and that's bodily autonomy. Why do you think that they're passing all these fucking, like, anti-LGBTQ laws, right? They're even passing laws that are going to outlaw gender-affirming care for adults. Because it was never about the kids. This is why they're passing bathroom laws. Sadly, the Senate approves and appoints Supreme Court justices, and Thomas, Coney Barrett, and Kavanaugh should not have gotten their lifetime job positions. Right, but that only happened because Republicans won power. Does that make sense? When Republicans and conservatives win power, that's what happens. This is a direct line. This is a direct line. This person being stuck at a hospital, being forced to give birth to a stillborn child, is a direct result of Republican policy. This is a conservative policy right here. There is no if, and, or buts about it. Hospital staff told Ms. Hogan if she tried to leave it, it could be used as evidence that she was trying to kill her baby and criminal charges could be brought against her. Listen to this shit. A stillborn child, who incidentally is also threatening her health and well-being. It's when conservatives say they want small government but support government measures that control over abortion, Medicare. Oh yeah, no, they don't give a shit. That's a misdirection. They don't give a shit about small government, in the sense that like what they claim to care about. That's not what they're interested in at all. There was nearly 50 years to codify road. There's a lot of blame to be had. Oh yeah, no. Like this doesn't spare the ineptitude and unwillingness to do the right thing by the Democratic Party. I'm just saying that like these particular actions only happened because Republicans won power. This only happened because Trump won the election, right? This only happened because the Republicans have the state legislature in Texas, in Florida, in all these red states. This is a direct result of Republicans winning elections. It doesn't excuse nor does it save the Democratic Party from criticism, and yes, blame, because they did have multiple opportunities. They made a conscious decision. They made a conscious decision not to, and here we are. Yes, to the Democratic Party. Yes, it was a kind of carrot stick until the Republicans won enough to be like, well, we don't really care. We'll just do it anyways. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that like this is a direct result of Republicans winning election and power. This is what happens. Does that excuse the Democratic Party? Does that save them from criticism or from not being blamed? No. It's just, we're talking levels here. We're talking like direct action versus like inaction, I guess, right? Like a direct, deliberate legislation that's being passed by Republicans versus like the Democratic Party's unwillingness to do the right thing. The Dems and Republicans are all the same corporate-owned donors. Progressive is the only place to be if you value humanity and oppose hate and corruption. Well, yeah, I think that in terms of like corruption and corporate influence, yes, but make no mistake about it, the Republican Party is a massive threat. The Republican Party is incredibly dangerous. The Republican Party is, to put it this way, I am more afraid of the Republican Party than I am angry at the Democratic Party. Does that make sense? Criminal charges could be brought against her. 4 days, Ms. Hogan said she felt trapped and terrified inside the hospital as she waited to give birth to a stillborn son. Now, Ms. Hogan is joining the lawsuit of Zurawski versus State of Texas, filed by Center for Reproductive Rights on behalf of women denied abortion since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. I'm joining this case because women deserve better. The lawsuit initially filed in March of 2023, included on behalf of 5 Texas women, is demanding the state of Texas to clarify the scope of the state's medical emergency exception under its extreme abortion ban. Since its filing, 8 more women have joined, and 3 have shared their stories experiencing a lack of health care during a terrifying time in their life. Yeah, fuck.
Laboratory.
Hey, whoa. Hey, okay. Yeah, so honestly, fuck these people. Fuck these Republicans. Absolute fucking cruel pieces of shit. Cruel as fuck. Democrats are better than Republicans, but Dems do need to step up their policies. They need to deliver if they're actually interested in any, like, in anything of what they claim to be interested in. I mean, like, what better verdict to show you that, like, the race between Biden and Trump is pretty fucking close. It is a pretty close race right now. So yeah, like the whole like my whole prerogative is essentially like to stop the Republicans. That's it. They are atrocious. Conservatives are fucking ghouls. They're heartless and they're cruel. She's probably traumatized. 100%. She said so, I think. In that interview, she said so. Or maybe I'm thinking of something else. Biden is not a shoe in any stretch, but Trump has a very real chance at winning. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. It's a very tight race as of right now. All right, folks, we made it. We got it through. I do have to get going because I'm hungry. Folks, if you enjoyed the content, please make sure you hit the follow button. It really does help us out. And if you want to support the channel but can't monetarily, please head on over to the YouTube channel, as 230 of you have already done, and hit the big red subscribe button. It really does help us out. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Spread the word. Great stream. Thank you, Hildebeest. And thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, and thank the mods. Thank the mods. Thank you, Michael Hassler. I appreciate it. But yeah, we're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you show some love to Hildebeest. There's a couple of diamonds in here. Alio Share. Make sure you go follow them. Mouselander. I think I saw them in the chat. So make sure you go show some love to some of these folks. Phenomenal content creators. Thank you so much for the raid and bringing your wonderful community, Hildebeest. Thank you guys in the chat for mixing it up. Thank you, Michael Hassler, for keeping the peace in the chat. I appreciate it. All right, folks, I gotta get going. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Fort Nickel, have a good night. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, folks, hang tight, everybody. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.